Hello, artists. Today we are going to be creating a bird's nest. Now, this nest is going to be a little different. It can be whatever materials you have in your yard or at home. It can be torn up paper. It can be needles. It can be grass. It can be twigs. For the eggs, I used rocks because I didn't have any clay at home. You can even paint your rocks as well, so they look like robin's eggs. So it's all up to you, whatever supplies you have at home to create this project. The inspiration for our project is a nest that fell out of a tree in my yard after a windy day. And I believe this was a sparrow's nest, and you can see this is not perfect. It has a hole for them to live in, but it has all different types of items in there. Dried grasses and small little plant from an arborvitae from the tree that it was in. You can see the sweet little opening of that nest. Now, I also want to kind of give my brain an idea of where I'm going to work. So I am going to use a CD, and with that CD I'm just going to take a pencil and trace around it, and that's my guide. And I can kind of make a smaller circle in the inside, but that is pretty much it for my starting my nest. Now with crayons, it's super easy. You're just going to overlap your lines. And I used all natural colors that you would find in nature. Rust, brown, black, this mustard, a gray. Very kind of drab colors, not super, super bright. Because remember, the birds don't want people to see where their nests are or other animals. To use markers, if you use a washable marker, you can overlap as well. And then using some water and a paintbrush, and you probably want to test your marker first, but when you use a washable marker, they'll start blending out. See how it's starting to blend? So you'll get some of that color. So you can also use washable markers and just overlapping them. And if you don't have a paintbrush, you can use a Q-tip. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is just the base of our nest. So if you go in with crayons, you're going to have even more color as well. You want to kind of let, if you've painted it, dry, and then just keep on going around. The inside of your nest is going to be dark. And so I'm just going in there and making that dark. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect because nature is more organic, and it's not, what you find in nature is not always perfect. So I'm just going in and making that darker. I'm going to overlap with other colors as well. Really make sure that you are coloring in solid so that you don't really see a lot of that white showing through. And I'm going to just add all the different colors. And remember, when nests are being made, a lot of times there's branches that stick out. Dark ones, light ones. And so you're just going to keep on working around. You can also outline what you've already created. And then from there, you can see I have it outlined. And then we're going to build up from there. Once your nest is complete, you're then going to just build up. And this is not really a permanent nest per se. If you want to glue it down, you can. I'm using mulch as my first base. So this is really old, dry mulch. You might even see some dirt in it. And you can see the dirt even in nests. That's what holds it together. And then I'm going to just put some pine needles in, some string. Whatever you have at home, go ahead and just layer it up. And then my last thing I'm going to do is add some twigs, especially those twigs that have fallen from the trees from the windstorms that you might have. We've had a lot of windstorms lately. And then I'm going to put my dried grasses on top because I think those are pretty cool. So there is my nest. And now I'm going to add my eggs, which are just 2 rocks. I'm just going to pop them in. This doesn't have to be a permanent art project. It might just be a temporary one for you to enjoy. But as you can see, our nest looks pretty realistic just by using some crayons and the things that I have found outside. Have fun creating, and I can't wait to see your finished projects.